Today we're talking about starting a business in a time of crisis. And joining us today from the Sunshine Coast is serial entrepreneur and co-founder of Fable Food Co, Michael Fox, and down on the south coast of New South Wales, co-founder of the Spend With Them campaign, Grace McBride, also joining us via Skype. Welcome to you both. Grace, starting with you. You and Churia Pitt did an amazing job of quickly launching an Instagram campaign. Tell us all about Spend With Them campaign and how difficult it was to quickly get it off the ground.
We met one morning and we literally came up with the idea of a coffee, and within 2 hours the campaign was live. I mean, Kochie, I think you know Churia pretty well. She's a bit of a powerhouse. We wanted to move quickly, we wanted to make an impact, and basically the idea is it's an Instagram campaign. We feature businesses in fire-affected and now COVID-affected areas. And help them reach customers who can support their business directly.
Michael, you launched Fable Food Co late last year, but it's not the first business you've launched. What did you do differently this time to ensure long-term success?
With Fable, we've invested a lot more time in market research, and also we've done a little piece of the research differently. So rather than just asking consumers what they want, I spent a good sort of 2 or 3 months in the supermarkets watching how customers shopped the meat-free category. Our Fable product is a meat alternative made from mushrooms. And so I'd watch how consumers shopped the existing meat alternatives and then go and ask some questions after about their behaviour.
Let's throw some audience questions to you both now. And the first one is to you, Grace. Samantha from Adelaide asks, how many people do you realistically need to have helping in order to quickly launch a business in a matter of weeks?
With Spend With Them, that was a campaign that Churia and I did, and we were happy to stay up until 3, 4 a.m. for a couple of weeks. So if you are just a small team or it is just you trying to launch a business in a few weeks, know that you can do it, and it will be a lot of work, but you probably just need to drop those expectations of how well you'll be able to do everything.
Yep, that's just the reality of it. Michael, this question to you from Genevieve from Wagga Wagga. If you suddenly see an opportunity, should you just go for it or take time to set the business up properly first?
Yeah, so I think it's a balancing act. You want to move as quickly as you possibly can so that you can get direct feedback from customers, but you've also got to make sure that you've got your ducks in a row, at least enough.
Grace, we have a question from Peter in Sydney. He says, how effective is it using influencers? What can I do instead if I've got just a limited budget?
I would suggest focusing really on great storytelling and focusing on the content you're putting out on your own channels.
Yep, great advice. Michael, Tristan from Melbourne has got a question. He asks, pivoting has been a real trend during this crisis. If looking to do so, should you look to competitors or your customers? It's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. So in my experience, definitely customers rather than competitors. So for us, our whole go-to-market strategy had been launched into restaurants to build the brand and drive consumer trial.
Okay, it's always about the customer. Grace, Casey from Canberra asks, what role does passion play when it comes to launching a business in a time of crisis?
I think having passion to help drive you through is really important, especially in times of crisis.
Michael Abdul from Brisbane asks, I also launched my business recently, hasn't gone too well. What should I do? Persevere or quit while I'm ahead?
Yeah, so sorry to hear that, Abdul. And I think it's important to try and analyse what the issues are and understand what the issues are. And I think the issue for a lot of startups, at least what I've seen and with what we experienced in Shoes of Prey, it's getting the value proposition right for the customer. Like, does your product really genuinely resonate for the customer, and is it differentiated from competitors?
Michael and Grace, thanks so much for helping our viewers and answering all their questions. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
That's all we have time for today, but before we go, don't forget we've got a whole lot of digital booster bundles from Yellow that we're giving to our Small Business First community. Head over to the website for details about how to win one. And while you're there, make sure you list your business on our directory and post a short 30-second video like the ones you've just seen here on Kochie's Business Builders so we can keep putting small business first.